Hello everybody and welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today's video is all about how to PvP better and win more fights, so it is directed towards beginner players. However, even the more experienced players should be able to take some examples and some tips out of this to improve their game also. So the first tip I have for you is practice just makes perfect. The more you play the game, the better you're going to get at it. No matter how long it takes you, everyone has different amounts of time that it takes to learn Escape from Tarkov. It is a massive learning curve, but once you've learned it, just keep practicing. That's all I can say. You learn from your deaths, you learn from your mistakes. The video highlights have now been implemented that you can set up to every time you die, it records the past 10 minutes and saves it as a highlight. They're perfect for watching back how you die previously. So you can watch him back and be like, oh shit, I died from that guy over there and I didn't even see him. It'll give you an example to watch out more in certain areas and stuff like that. Or if you were looting too long and you just got hatchet in the back of the head or fucked up the ass, who knows? You can watch it back and be like, I'm never doing that again. And you learn from a lot of your mistakes that way. And not only does practice help you learn from, say, death and stuff like that, but if you practice your shooting just in general, like practice point shooting, for example. Point shooting is viable in so many situations, more so in close quarters combat, but if you were to point shoot at someone that was running up to you, it saves a second of aiming down sights, and you're able to put more bullets into him if you are accurate. Scav raids and offline raids, they just help in general. That's how I practice. I use scav raids a lot more than offline raids, but if you want to practice different sorts of weapons, different spray patterns and shooting tactics, go into an offline raid, use the weapons that you were going to take into a live raid, and then just try it out that way. I use scav raids a lot for learning map knowledge, like certain map callouts, certain points that scav spawn, and certain places where choke points can be held for PMCs. So scav raids are absolutely amazing, and recently they've been turned down to about 10 minutes rather than 20 minutes. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but for the past couple of days it's been 10 minutes rather than 20 minutes per scav raid. So you're able to scav in a lot more often. And next thing is mainly when you're fighting a group, and that is relocate often. After every shot, if you miss a shot, you need to relocate, because they're going to be finding you. They will find out where that shot came from, and they will be doing a flank on you or looking in that direction. So if you relocate and flank them, they're least likely going to expect a flank. They're more likely going to be focused on the area that you originally shot them from. So shoot, move, constantly keep them on their toes. Never re-peek the same angle. If you're stuck in a situation where you can only re-peek the same angle, pre-fire. So if you're locked in a room, pre-fire a corner before you go out there, because that will throw them off guard, and also you might get a few hits in before they'll be able to hit you, because you get a peeker's advantage in this game that's absolutely incredible. And it works so well in live raids against squads. Not only that, but you never want to hold one angle. You never want to rely just on your ears to hear your surroundings, because people can walk silently, and if you don't have contacts on, you really can't hear people right behind you if they're walking. So make sure you take a look around every now and then just to make sure no one's sneaking up behind you. Otherwise this will happen. This happened to me yesterday, so I just want to take a look at this clip that happened, and just don't do a me is basically what I'm telling you.
You're at third floor window.
Yeah, right by the stairs that we came up. Ow! We get it. Another tip is keep an eye on the in-game timer. This is absolutely incredible, and not many people do it at all. It can predict where enemies are on the map. Over time, you'll know how long it takes from you to get to one side to the other of the map. So if you're, say, 20 minutes into a customs raid, you can expect people to be either at dorms or towards the gas station sort of bridge area of the map. Now, you just got to keep an eye on the timer. You'll get more used to it in different maps the more you play the maps, but the timer can predict whether people will be leaving spawn. After 10 minutes, for example, you'll be like, oh, everyone should be out of spawn now. This would be perfect for you to set up choke points yourself, or vantage points to get sort of the flank, get sort of the high ground on somebody, and just get the jump on them and be able to kill them before they even see you. So in-game timer is actually so good if you know how to use it well. and I use it basically every raid now, so I can tell where people are going to be or predict sort of the movement patterns of my enemies. So like I said earlier, hip firing and point shooting is really good in close combat, and that's just because you're able to save time. Rather than pulling the gun up to aim down sights, you're just constantly shooting. You don't need to aim down sights at all. Not only that, but if you're struggling to get accuracy when you're hip firing, just put a laser on your weapon. You'll be able to see sort of where the bullet travels. You, again, use offline raids to practice point shooting as well. But if you put a laser on your weapon, you can kind of see the direction and where the bullet's going to hit. So that's perfect if you want to just practice your point shooting. Close quarter situations is a lot better. And remember, you can take advantage of the shit situation we're in now. So if someone has a longer weapon, if you just run up to them, their gun goes up in the air. Even more so when you're aiming down sights. So take advantage of that shitty, awful feature. It's not even a bug. It is a feature. It's shit. It annoys the hell out of me, especially in factory. Go in with a Glock 18 if you can get one. Just fucking... Oh my god, that's amazing. Especially, you don't need to aim. You just spray in the general direction. They're fucked up. It's an incredible weapon. But yeah, point shoot, and you're gonna get the jump on people in close quarter situations. Another thing is, don't take a fight that you can't win. This is pretty much obvious. If you're going in with a TT or a PM pistol, you're not going to run up to a 5-man squad filled with M4s and 4 armors and be like, I'm going to kill you all. If you're lucky, you may get 1 or 2 kills. I mean, it is possible to kill all 5 of them, but they must be physically and mentally retarded. You can't... It's not likely that you're going to 5-man squad wipe with a TT pistol if they're all wearing Ultinum Fort helmets. It's just not viable. So know when to run away is the best thing in this situation. If you're coming up against a 5-man squad and they haven't seen you, don't even try to engage. Just fucking walk the other way, go home, pack your bags, you're done. Get comfortable with the keybinds is another thing. I know a lot of people, including Cotton, he kind of binds his keys to the armor keys that he's used to using. I've bind my keys similar to his. I have been playing armor a lot longer than I've been playing Tarkov, so I'm used to different key layouts to what Tarkov is. But if you just get used to the keybinds, or if you're easily manipulated into different keybinds, just use the keybinds, get comfortable with them. Remember that you can change them if you're not comfortable with them. Bind some keys to your mouse if your mouse has got hotkeys. I've bound delete and control and all that to help me loot faster, but you can bind a grenade key, a reload key, anything to your mouse. It just speed up time and just make it so you're comfortable when playing. You don't want to be reaching halfway across the keyboard for a button that you'll be using hella frequently. Another thing is watch gameplay or live streams from more experienced players, especially if you're new. This is how I started. I mean, I started in alpha, but I watched people like Cotton and like Clean and all that sort of people when I first started out playing Tarkov, and now we talk on a frequent basis. So like, you learn from these people, you get their ideas, you learn their tactics, you then get your own tactics, you manipulate their tactics to your own playstyle, and you get a different perspective. It also allows you to understand how enemies think as well, because if you think about it, if you're ever going to come up with them in a PvP situation, you know how they work. The more you watch experienced players, the more you see how different sorts of enemies act and how they act themselves, so it'll give you a better idea on how different people act within different maps and different playstyles and stuff like that, so you can kind of use it to predict what they're going to do and outplay them if you were ever up against somebody like that. Grenades are your friends. This is a big one. A lot of people don't actually take grenades, including myself. I don't usually take grenades. However, grenades aren't just used to get long-range kills or flash the enemy. Flashing the enemy is amazing, especially if you're going for a push. But grenades can also be used to be thrown to get people out of cover. So if they're hiding behind a dumpster and you can't shoot them, if you throw a grenade near the dumpster, they're most likely going to run. Whether they run in the right direction out into the open is different, but they are likely to run and change their position. Hopefully, after they run, you'll be able to get a shot on them. If not, just you'll know it's kind of clear because you'll hear them run or see them run. You'll be able to push up a little bit further and get a better angle. Another thing is, don't get cocky or greedy. I know a lot of people, especially in my Discord for some reason, they're just basically loot goblins, and they get a team killed a hell of a lot. It's not good if you're playing as a team to be cocky or greedy, but always expect that you can only loot what you can. Don't stay too long. Don't overstay your welcome. If you've killed 3 enemies and you know that there's someone else but they're on the west wing of Resort, for example, and you're on the east wing, don't physically go and hunt them down. Just get the fuck out while you know it's safe with all the loot. Don't risk your loot getting killed by some guy camping in a room on the opposite side of the map. You know, don't go hunt everyone down, and don't get cocky thinking you're the best player. There is no best player in Tarkov, and I don't care how many people say certain people are the better players. There's no best player in Tarkov at all. There's no best player in anything. Everyone has bad days, everyone has good days. It's just different of what people want to show you, you know? If someone was, good on that day, but bad on another day, no one's the best. Just know that you go into a raid knowing that you may not come out. Don't ever go into a raid with the cocky mindset of being like, I'm going to get out with everyone's gear, because that doesn't go well at all. You want to get comfortable with all of your guns as well, because you don't know whether you're going to be using an unmodded weapon that you found in a crate, or going to be using an enemy's weapon because, say, you're out of ammo, or you've had to drop your gun for more loot, for example, so you can drop your insured weapon and grab someone else's weapon. So make sure you're comfortable with every single weapon. You may have to use it. Try different modding options, even if it isn't how you would mod your gun personally. Just try different modding options, because people mod in strange and confusing ways sometimes. So just make sure you've got a grip on all the sorts of guns out there in Tarkov. Any gun that is unmodded, practice with it. Practice in offline, practice with scavs, because scavs come with wacky weapons that a lot of people seem to use for some reason. So just use as many guns as you can. Don't focus just on one gun, because you may not always be using it. And finally, for the first part, I know this video is kind of long, but I'm trying to give you as much information as possible. That is, up your skills. Now, the 2 skills that I recommend is strength and endurance. This is what everyone says, I know, but strength is great because it'll allow you to run faster, jump higher, and endurance is great because it allows you to sprint longer. This is perfect in PvP because you'll be able to sprint faster around people and outrun them to different flanks, and you'll also be able to sprint longer if you need to chase somebody down or do a long flank. You'll be able to sprint longer and get there quicker. To train your strength, you need to be overweight and walk or throw grenades, and endurance, you just need to sprint to the end of your stamina bar till you're completely drained of stamina. That increases your endurance, and grenade throwing is probably best, especially if you're going to use grenades on a regular basis, which I do recommend you do. That increases your strength as well. So a final few tips for you when you're playing as a team is communication is key. When you just practice and practice like you should be doing, map callouts become easy. You'll find that out by playing with different people as well. Everyone has different callouts for different things. So I call the place just before construction on customs, I call that ice cream, that little shop thing. But some people just call it shop, you know. You got to understand different people's callouts and try to get a common ground so you know what people are talking about when you're playing with them. Although communication is key, do not over communicate, especially if you're playing with people that you don't really know. I know a lot of people in my Discord now are playing with new people because there's so many new people coming in, which is great. I love the community in there, but if people are over communicating and people are not able to hear what's happening in game, that can really confuse people, make them annoyed, make you lose PvP fights basically. So don't over communicate, tell them the right information. I don't really follow this, especially because I only play with a few people, especially on streams and videos. You'll see me just talking about random shit. Like, I'll be like, yeah, I like Willy or something. Right? That's not necessary communication, but I say it anyway because I have trust and faith with the people that I play with. But if you're playing with newer players that maybe don't like it, or playing with different players that you don't usually play with, only communicate the necessary information. Don't ramble on like I do. Don't do a me, is basically what I'm telling you once again. And finally, know what your team looks like. Don't rely on armbands that have come in 0.9 because armbands can be covered up with Gem 4 armor and 4 armors, so you can't actually see the armbands. And the armbands, they render away after like 25 feet. So you can't rely on armbands 100% of the time, so know what your team looks like. So point out what armor they're wearing, or point out what gun they're using, and make sure you focus on what gun they're using. If they have an AK. Don't be like, oh, he's got an AK, because someone else in the map can have an AK. But have a look how it's modded. Have a look what armor he's wearing. Take a look at him as a whole, whether he's a bear, whether he's a USEC. Take a look at his playstyle. When you're playing with somebody, that's key. If you know that that's the team just by looking at them, then you don't need to over communicate. The amount of times I've played with people on the Discord and they're like, is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Yes, it's me. Yeah, cool. You know, that's unnecessary. You should be able to know where your team are at all times. But anyway, guys, that's literally everything I have for you. These are all the tips that I can literally tell you to improve your PvP, your combat in general within Tarkov. Now, don't expect that you're going to be able to kill squads instantly after watching this video. It does take practice. Just make sure you keep trying. And don't get disheartened if you do die, because everyone does. Everyone has bad days, like I'm saying. And don't think you're the best, because cocky assholes never get anywhere. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do want a team to play with within Escape from Tarkov, there's a link to join my Discord in the description of this video. And you'll find plenty of people there who will love and cherish every moment of playing together with you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support lately. You've been incredible. I love you all. Goodbye.